lot about leveraging existing solutions whenever you're going to build an app. And leveraging existing solutions means that you go out there and whenever you're going to build an app, you look for pieces of functionality that already exist, that maybe you have to pay for, that can be incorporated into your app. So for instance, an example of an existing solution is if you want cloud infrastructure, then you can go to Amazon, you can sign up for what's called AWS, Amazon Web Services, and they will take care of all your hosting and deployment needs. Amazon takes care of it. You don't have to write software to do all this stuff, which sounds great. But there's a risk in doing that, and that risk is called vendor lock-in. What is vendor lock-in? Vendor lock-in is when you really depend on a vendor for a core piece of functionality, and you build your software in such a way that only that vendor works with your software, then they have you. They have you by the jugular, and they know this. And so vendor lock-in is a big risk, and I want to talk about two ways that you can sort of mitigate it. Because when vendors have vendor lock-in, they can, one, raise your prices extremely high. There's a joke about if on Amazon Web Services, if you have a $1,000 bill and you want to dispute, they'll do business with you. But if you have $1 million bill, they're not going to handle your complaint because they know they have you. The second part of vendor lock-in is that vendor could just stop working on the product or get shut down. Facebook did this with Parse, which was a framework that allowed you to easily create user accounts for mobile apps. Facebook bought Parse and then just shut it down, and all these apps were sort of left in the dark. So vendor lock-in has some real risks, and I want to talk about two ways that you can sort of mitigate that. Number one is to use solutions that are based on standards. So if you use Amazon Web Services and you do it in a certain way, and you follow a certain standard, you can actually get off of Amazon Web Services and you can go move to something like a Rackspace. The second solution is to look for open source solutions rather than paid solutions. So open source solutions, you would pay a developer to incorporate those solutions, but then at least you own the code. So again, then using existing software, not a bad thing at all. Please leverage it, but just beware of the vendors you're using and play it smart to where if they want to get silly with you and start raising your prices, you can move on. So anyways, hope this helps. And if it did, please care to like, comment, or subscribe.